Hello, this is Bravo 45th or Marching Memories Cinema. Yes, I have a paintball mask on because I am your father. In this update, we're going to talk about a few things. Let me get my list. All right, this will be shorter than our last video we did. It's 2019, folks. And it's time to have a little update on our YouTube channel. All right, so let's go talk about our YouTube channel here. We're going to talk a little bit on my personal life. Not much, because I don't want to get into all that. Kind of went on a little family trip to the beach. So that was nice and all. So I'm glad I was able to go on a little family trip. And the year 2019 is going to be a little bit different. I think the focus that I need to probably fixate on the most in 2019 is finishing up school. I'm getting close to finishing my education in Bible at the Bible college to be a pastor. So I need to focus on the calling God has placed on my life, and my focus needs to be on me finishing college. So that's probably where my focus is going to be, less on the channel, to be honest, guys. That said, I still want to try to see if I can get a video a month done. But if I can't, I can't. It might be every other 2 months, there might be a video. I know that decreases the amount of time the channel gets activity, but it's important that I keep focus on school this year. So you know ahead of time that's what's going to happen. Let's talk a little bit about Southman. The last video I uploaded was Tidings, a post-apocalyptic short. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I would recommend watching it. It was supposed to be a Christmas episode of Southman. Basically, it's an in-between episode. If you ever heard of Recolation, it's actually the first video you see when you go directly to my channel. You will see that it's the first video that pops up as like a top advertisement. And Recolation is an example of an in-between episode in the Southman saga. So if you're ever watching Southman, I would recommend that you would watch Recolation, and that would be an example of what Tidings was. Recolation is a episode 3.5, while Tidings is episode 5.5, taking place between episode 5, where we left off, where he was in Bunker 88 and didn't find his nephews, but he found a radio signal that said, "There's shelter in Colorado, there's shelter in Colorado." And you're thinking, oh, his nephews are probably in Colorado, wherever this shelter is. So he goes and tries to find them. Well, episode 5.5, or Tidings takes place in between episode 5 and episode 6, which continues into Colorado. Speaking of episode 6, we are working on continuing the Southman post-apocalyptic story into Colorado and him trying to find his nephews. Well, that's going to be not as easy to do because locations is becoming kind of a struggle there in Colorado. It doesn't mean that we haven't been able to pull it off, as Tidings has been able to show, but we've had to deal with stuff like kind of, I don't know, we want to do good locations, like post-apocalyptic locations you would think of, like abandoned buildings. In Tidings, we got lucky because, well, I wouldn't say it was lucky, I would say even God had something to do with it. But we met this lady who allowed us to use her house, and it was all burned up, and we were able to use her house and help out and minister to that lady as well. Well, as you see in the Tidings film, the Southman Christmas special, going inside the house and doing that. Well, um, that was a win-win thing. It was cool that we were able to get in there and film there, and it was just a perfect location to film in our house. And so I thought that was pretty neat, to be honest. Well, we don't always have that we don't always have that ability to do that with other um, with the continued episode 6. We've already used that lady's house, so we don't necessarily want to use it again. I mean, we could, but we'll probably need to use other locations. And this is where you have to start asking people around. I'm probably going to have to communicate with a film group there in Colorado that has awesome locations, but it might mean paying money or getting, permits to film. And it's just going to be so annoying, but we need to get it done. So episode 6 is going to be difficult to get done because of the cost that may come in getting a filming permit to film in locations and what all that may encompass. Now, to keep in mind, Marching Memories Cinema isn't really a film production. It's just, how YouTubers, we just put up like a movie cinema production, but we're not making any money off of it. It's just for fun. It's just like, what if we did actually have a real movie cinema business, and that's not what we are. So because of that, we've been able to have more permission to film in like parks in Colorado Springs, and where we've been able to do tidings. So we have that benefit, but I don't know how long that benefit will stay the same if the channel have to. I don't know how this works. The legal stuff that gets involved with simply filming a movie is kind of ridiculous, even if it's just for a YouTube channel. So let's move on. Episode 6 will continue the storyline where Southman's trying to find his nephews. 6, 7, and 8 is all going to take place in Colorado. 9 and 10 is going to be a mystery. What's going to happen? But we'll explain that later. But this is where, because of school reasons, it's going to be harder for me to pull off a lot of focus on finishing episode 6, or hopefully it would be done by 2016. 2019. We're past 2016. But that may not happen. Now, the trio films. I don't know why I said trio films. Oh, yeah, other films is what I might end up doing. For the meantime, in 2019, I think I'm going to focus on trying to, finish the other films. That is the Time Trip Trio. I don't know if you've ever seen those kind of cute kid movies. As well as, have you noticed that in my channel, I don't have a lot of shooting films? None of them have a lot of, like, when I mean shooting films, a lot of shooting effects. Where one guy's like, pew, and one guy's like, and stuff like that. And one guy's like, oh yeah, grenade, tang, boom. You don't actually see that a lot in my movies. So because you don't actually see that a lot in my movies, how do you know? How do you know? I was going to say that because you don't see that in a lot of my movies, I'm going to explain why, to be honest. Because I don't like the challenge sometimes of it. I mean, making films where there's a lot of shooting going on, there's one challenge. You always have to make sure you get the muzzle flashes in at the right timing and just perfect and looks good to your best ability. And I don't have the best programs to make the best muzzle flashes, so I rarely do it. The only time I've done it so far that you've seen that been uploaded has been one, Treasure Hunt Trio, the end where he kills the monster in the mask. And then the second one is Southman episode 1 pilot. And Southman even misses. So there's not a lot of gun shooting action in my movies, if you've noticed. Maybe that needs to change, and we're planning to change that a little bit more. So I think I'm going to focus on some movies because I know there's been movies. And the one thing that has stopped me in the past from completely editing a movie is dang, I don't have muzzle flashes. Or, I mean, I have to do muzzle flashes. So I have to admit, what I want to do recently is I made Rainbow Six. It was my first movie I've ever done called Rainbow Six Unfinished Movie. And I want to make a remake, a remaster of that, where there actually is gun muzzle flashes between my brother and I trying to shoot each other because there's a lot of gun action in that movie. Well, I want to attempt to use that as my first thing to do it. And there's been also a frustrating why I haven't been able to do a lot of muzzle flashes like I would wish I could. And honestly, I admit I don't have the patience for it sometimes. So for animation, I don't always have the patience for it. So for example, in that video alone, what made it so difficult to do muzzle flashes for that video and for other videos that have gun scenes is that the video editor I'm currently using for most of my films is called Movie Studio 14, which is a Vegas product. And it's basically like the Vegas Pro version, but not the Pro version. And it doesn't have all the options, and it doesn't have a masking tool, which makes you want to pull your hair out. And because there's not a masking tool to use, you have to kind of, what's the word? I had to basically get, what's the word? You have to like find something else or a whole other substitute. You have to find a substitute for when you don't have a masking tool. And I haven't been able to figure that out in the program I have because I don't think there's any way I can do muzzle flashes in that program. So it's so frustrating. It's because I don't have Vegas Pro. So what I did is I got a free version of HitFilms, which HitFilms is perfect. And you can do that kind of stuff. I've already kind of tested it out. So in HitFilms, this is where I'm able to do more of the gun and animation scenes in HitFilms. So I think one thing you could look forward to, although I'm not going to be very good with editing this stuff, it may look bad, but be honest. But you can look forward maybe to the fact that in me remastering some of these videos and doing videos more that have gun stuff, I'm going to have more muzzle flashes by using HitFilms. And if you know what HitFilms is, go Google it. I mean, it's really good free program that I've used. And I've actually used it for some stuff that I wasn't able to, simple stuff that I wasn't able to do in my movie studio. So that's where we're going to focus right now. It's just kind of taking the films we've already filmed and we already created that we never finished, and then challenging myself to go beyond that. With Southman, it is a big project, and the biggest thing was locations. So anyway, this has been movies. This has been a Marching Memories Cinema update for 2019. I look forward to doing more videos with you guys. Please stay tuned. Peace out.